Okay, before we begin the whole chemistry experiment, let me start off with a few safety precautions so you can actually prevent yourself from getting hurt or burned by using whatever chemical you used. Now, here's the safety precautions you have to take. Number one, always wear gloves, whether they're latex or plastic. They can keep you safe from whatever chemical you're using so you don't get burned on your hands once the chemical actually reaches your skin on contact. Take this for example, dry ice. Dry ice can actually burn your skin on contact once you grab it. If you don't have any gloves or hands, no, if you don't have any gloves or any protection on your hands, you're actually getting yourself burned, whether it's a third degree or second degree from the dry ice or the chemical you're using. Second, wear something that is not going to stain your clothes. Like, for instance, I chose the leather jacket because it technically protects my shirt from any stains while doing this. Now, let's go over the basic chemicals that we do have in this chemistry set. What we have here is glow powder, which is supposed to be like a illumination. It's supposed to be like illumination or illuminating powder that's supposed to light up the room. And of course you have sodium alginate. Sodium alginate is supposed to be it's supposed to be some kind of substance that's supposed to at least give the powder or whatever substance in the kit or the set you're using kind of like a mega boost. But this stuff right here, calcium chloride, basically dried up chlorine that you find in your local pools. Well, the thing with this stuff is you have got to be careful with how much you use. Like you gotta be careful with how much of this stuff you actually use. Now, I did use a test subject while conducting an experiment related to that. One of the living organisms I tested the experiment on was a fly that was still alive. And before you say anything, or in case you didn't know, flies do not breathe out of their mouths. They actually breathe out of their backs. Like, seriously, they breathe out of their backside. But once I conducted the experiment with 4 to 5 drops, unfortunately, one of them, the fly died by accident. So, if I'm not mistaken, now where did I put that test tube? Look, point being is, messing with chemicals is really dangerous. Like, they're really dangerous. And if you want to conduct a few science experiments regarding different chemicals, then you have to know exactly what you're doing at all times. Since I was 9 years old, when I was a little boy, I always loved science. I always loved the idea of chemistry in science. And now that I'm a grown man, at the age of 20, I'm still a man of science. So, let's get on with the experiment. Alright. Now, you see this right here? This was the acid mixed with glucose, calcium chloride, and of course H2O. Now, for some of you who don't know what H2O actually is, H2O is the periodic table symbol for water. Now, you see, right here I have a beaker full of H2O. Now, like I said, be careful with what chemicals you used. You don't know exactly which ones are dangerous, but if you want to get a good look at what the cells look like, you have these labels that you can put on the slide while you're adding a drop of whatever type of serum or formula you actually made. Now, let's see. This was the batch I made like around 3 weeks ago, or 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Well, let's see. One thing you want to do first. You gotta take like one sample of it after the other with this. I'm not quite certain. I'm not quite certain of what this device or whatever this thing is, but scientists use it to test different products, like different products in the labs, to make sure you got the right amount that's safe for humans, so it's not actually hazardous. Like, think about how they test for medicine, or run your blood samples through an analyzer. This is what they use to get the right reading under a microscope directly. So if we add a little bit of this, let's just put like 1 drop at a time to make sure we get the correct measurements of said formula. Now the glow powder was actually supposed to light up the place a little bit. Now, here's how we're really get tested. You see? What we have here is a syringe, and we're going to fill it with the substance. Then we're going to place it right here. Then we're going to place it here onto... Then we're going to place it right here onto this clamp. Or at least I think that's what it is. Not sure what this part is, but anyways, put the water onto the clamp to make sure it would actually work. Now, if the glow powder is already open, use whatever type you have left. Then, of course, if it helps, place it near the table if there's some left over. Alright. Next. Next we have the calcium chloride. Now, just like the ingredients in some pharmaceutical medicines, the smell of this is not pleasant. The smell of it is not pleasant at all. And trust me, there ain't nothing pleasant about it. Like, for instance, take a look at this little ball of calcium chloride. Take a look at this. That just about equals at least 32 to 10 micrograms at the most. Now, we put that in with the formula. We put the rest of the glow powder inside. And if you don't have scissors to get them open, no problem. A knife is always a better alternative to actually open something like this. Because right now we're going to add citric acid. Now, you need to be careful how much citric acid you actually use. That's why the chemistry set came with a good measuring spoon. So you can actually add how much you want to. Like the formula calls for 2 micrograms of it at the most. Now, there it is. Now, another thing is, if you want to add sodium to the mix, just pour a little bit, not a whole lot. Now, the test tube of the mixture from a few days ago goes into this. Now, we add a little bit of baking soda. Oh, ow. Ah, ah, ha, 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 ha. Holy crap. I can't believe it. I can't believe my eyes. I got it. Baking soda was the fiber I needed to do it. To actually make this stuff work. Alright. Alright, okay, so, settled. I don't know how, but it seems to work. Okay. Alright. 1 teaspoon of it. It's still bubbling. I don't believe it. Alright. I'll put this to the real test. The experiment. Alright. Now we have to preserve it. For science. Alright. We must preserve it.